Hi there, and welcome along to Birds Ear View number 8 with me, Andy Skinner. For those of you who don't know me, I'm resident DJ every Friday on We Get Lifted Radio, London, monthly resident DJ on Bloop London Radio, and some of you hopefully will know me from my release Somnium on the brilliant Manual Recordings last year on Manualism number 17. Tonight though, all the music you're going to hear isn't from me, sadly. It's from Avoure, and certainly a guy who's doing way more than I'm certainly doing, and he's really making noises out there in the world of electronic music. So everything you hear is either a direct track from him, or a collaboration, or a remix with him and somebody else. Hope you enjoy the mix, and I hope you'll check out all of Karen's Birds Ear View podcasts and streams. Absolutely brilliant. She goes in depth with all the mixes that have been done right from the very start. So I hope you enjoy, and with that being said, let's get into the mix. Thanks again, and bye.
Thank you, Andy. This is Birds Ear View 8. I'm Karen from Philly, back again with a project near and dear to me. We are celebrating Avoure and his music. Hang tight, it's going to be an amazing ride. This first song is the intro mix of Spectrum off the This Never Happened label. Enjoy. Birds Ear View 8. I'm Karen from Philly, DJ Andy Skinner on the decks. So what is going on here? This is my gift to Avoure and his fans and you. It is a thank you to Avoure for how his music has impacted me. In 2018, I first heard his song Aura, and it changed my life. At the time, I was suffering from severe social anxiety. Aura hooked me to this entire world of underground dance music. It brought me out of my shell because I found my true calling in this music. To start Birds Ear View, he awakened me to this music that I already loved but didn't understand. Simultaneous to this 2018 time period, Avoure's music helped me go through my actual gender transition from male to female. I'm not trans because of Avoure's music, but it helped me immensely get through those difficult and courageous last steps that I had been putting off for decades and decades. It helped me find my authentic self. How is this possible? Because his music has so much authenticity. It's the passion and intensity he brings. People ask me, what makes him so great? My real reaction is, you can't hear it? You can't hear what makes him awesome? I'm not hitting an above vibe when I say that. So what I'm gonna do is try to finally explain what makes Avoure great. His music has its own unique rhythms. It's a signature sound. The beats are so agile, they can cascade, they can conquer. Every beat is important and intelligent. They elevate, they drop, but not in a bad EDM way. They connect with you and take you on an amazing journey. It's exhilarating. It's the genius emotional energy he brings to his music and how it in turn inspires his listeners and fans. Yes, excellent transition, Andy. From Avoure and Hex Logic Wonder on the This Never Happened label to Avoure and Jem Cook. The song is called Illuminate, extended dub mix, also off This Never Happened label, Lane 8's This Never Happened label. Now, there is an elephant in the room with Avoure. He has generated over 250 million streams, but it comes with possible frustrations. Despite all those streams, he is not a household name or even fully recognized for his achievements by the underground dance music community. Also, since his song Aura is such a mega hit, the expectation of some is that Avoure should replicate that song's formula and sound like it is as much as possible. But he's a true artist who lives this music. His creative process is bigger than just churning out formulaic music. This was all crystallized online when someone tweeted, "It's so sad that Aura is literally godlike because probably no new track will come close to its amazingness." Avoure answered by tweeting, "Kill me, please." You see, you can't do that with Avoure. That's what you would say to a one-hit wonder, and Avoure is not a one-hit wonder. His whole body of work is outstanding and compelling. The person called the song Aura godlike, it is. But in reality, Avoure is a god in this music for not just doing Aura over and over again. Birds Review 8. That was Illuminate. DJ Andy Skinner in the mix, so wonderfully spinning classic Avoure. As we transition into Serenity, the original mix by Avoure off his own label, Biome Recordings. And I think it's totally natural that Avoure has his own label because he's so brilliant. And he actually told in an interview with Magnetic Magazine why he had to start Biome Recordings, his own label. He said, "To be completely honest, I decided to start Biome because I faced rejection from labels countless times, despite having a portfolio filled with tracks with millions of streams. Established labels prioritize their concepts and sound over the individuality of the artists. And he said the goal is to help artists reach true music lovers, cutting through the noise of algorithms and commercial trends. Frankly, it's quite a challenge nowadays," he said. We're in the studio jamming, me and Justin doing an incredible job producing. That's a great blend, Andy. As we move into Avoure's incredible song, Ray, off Lane 8's This Never Happened label. Now, Ray must be a really special song to Avoure because on his live sets, he always plays it first. And in fact, he has a version with lyrics, sung lyrics that I wrote him once on Twitter and said, is that a new song or what is that? And he said, no, it's a special version of Ray that he plays in live sets. And I guess that's a great segue into one of the coolest moments I ever had in this music. We'll get into Avoure's journey, but suffice it to say, I saw him perform live, spin live on a Brooklyn rooftop on May 4th, 2024. Secret rooftop. And it was so beautiful. Avoure had such an incredible journey from Ukraine, his native Ukraine, where he likely saw horrific things with the war. And during the war, he was in Ukraine, and he went radio silent for a long time, and all his fans were worried. But we understood. And then, wonderfully, he settled in Los Angeles. And it was always a dream of mine to see him spin. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he had a performance in New York City, and I live in Philadelphia. So I was able to go. And it was beautiful to see his dreams come true. And my dream to see him spin live came true. And during his set, a beautiful thing happened. He called me over to the turntables. And I was so touched. I had never met him, but he knew me to be a big supporter of his online since 2018, and we'll get into that. But he called me over, and I was so nervous and so taken that all I could do was mouth the words, "I love you." And I didn't mean it in a sexual way. It was just that his music has impacted me so amazingly. But I felt really weird that I did that, and I backed up. And he's so cool. He gave me, a couple minutes later, he gave me another chance. And he called me over again. And I said, "Hi, I'm Karen." And he said, "I know." And I know that might sound like innocuous and not deep, but it was so incredible. And then I just backed up again and watched the man, this genius, do his thing on the turntables on a secret rooftop in Brooklyn, New York City. And it's a moment I'll never forget. And I thank you, Avoure, for that moment. That was super classy, bro. Incredible. That was Ray by Avoure. Great blend, Andy, as we head into World on Fire, the extended mix, off the Spinnin' Deep label. Wow, are those birds? I never noticed that. That's incredible. Incredible blend by Andy Skinner. You can check Andy out on WeGetLiftedRadio.com. every Friday. And once a month on Bloop London Radio. This mix by Andy is so incredible. It's perfect, actually. And that's really cool because, like, I consider Avoure to be a perfectionist, and I would never trust a DJ to mix Avoure songs that I didn't think could handle it. And Andy not only handled it, he crushed. This exciting song is called Pulse, the original mix, and it's on Avoure's label Biome Recordings. So, like I said, I got into Avoure in 2018. And at that time, I thought he was unknown. I thought he was new. And I told you why he was so important to me. But he had an account on Patreon, which is an account, a website set up to where people can support their favorite artists. And he had an account on Patreon in 2018. While Aura, which has gone on to have 100 million or more streams, was out. But on this account, he had 5 patrons, and the monthly take was $31 a month. And he had this incredible story in his Patreon bio. And I'm gonna read it now. He said, "I'm Kirill, that guy who dreams big and talks about it with his music. I'll be honest here, as I always am. I can openly say that music is all I can do. And my dream was to make music my number one thing I want to do with my life. But reality is like a cold bath with ice, which I need to get each morning until financial problems can be solved. I can't do music all the time. I don't have a studio or manager or booking agent. And I don't act as an artist. I'm a simple guy with a daytime job, like anyone else. And only at night can I do new music. I hope it's just a matter of time. But for now, support of my fans is all I have. I'm thankful to each and every one of you for your love. It means a lot to me." That's so humble. That's so beautiful. You know, I always thought it was strange, and I always wondered, how could Avoure's first song be Aura, which is coming up after this? How can your first song be on an incredible label like Lane 8's This Never Happened? And how come on your first song you get 100 million streams? I always wondered about that, but I never pressed him. I don't like to press too much with him. You know, I talk to him online sometimes, and he's real cool. And we'll get into what actually happened, because very recently he made a startling announcement. Startling to me. And we're gonna jam out for a while. And I'll tell you about Avoure before 2018. I'm hitting posts left and right here. So far, I'm getting an A. It's really funny. On Birds Ear View, I usually pick the tracks. But for this one, I said, Andy, you pick the tracks. I wanted Andy to be connected to the mix because I wanted it to be perfect for Avoure. The only thing I said to Andy was put Aura in it because, not for me, but for the fans. If you're going to celebrate Avoure, you have to play Aura, and that is upcoming next. But the mix that Andy came back with is just so great, as you can hear. OMG, man. OMG. Wow, what a blend, Andy. Wow. That was Pulse by Avoure on Biome Recordings as we now transition into Avoure's signature song. It has over 100 million streams. It's called Aura, and it touched me so great, as I've explained. Aura came out in 2018 on This Never Happened. That's the beat right there that hooked me to this music, and to him right there, that little awesomeness. That was the majestic song Aura by Avoure off This Never Happened. And right now, Andy does something super cool. He mixes in the Grigor remix of Aura, also on This Never Happened. I had actually never heard this remix. So it was real cool that Andy put it in, you know? This is so sick. It's incredible. Andy Skinner, I love you. Birds Your View 8. I'm Karen from Philly. You're in the mix with DJ Andy Skinner. Spinning the best of Avoure. But that's not true either, because you really can't compare Avoure's music. It's all incredible. So what is on here was going to be so ill, you know? But let me go back to the story about how I was like thinking but doubting that Avoure started in 2018 with Aura. As we transition into Pangea, the extended mix by Avoure on the Colorized label. Well, anyway, very, very recently, Avoure posted something on Instagram that shocked me. Even though I had those questions. He said, "Did you know that Avoure wasn't my first music project?" For those who didn't know, Orphid was my previous alias. I was producing music mostly in the progressive house and trance genres, focusing heavily on the hypnotic elements of sound. Over time, my sound started to evolve, and I found myself drawn to deeper music. I began creating what we now call melodic house, though back then it was still often labeled as deep house or progressive. One day, I sent a few demos to Lane 8, and my life changed from that moment on. It was Lane 8 who encouraged me to start a new chapter in my musical journey and launch a new project. I still remember that moment fondly and feel incredibly grateful I had the courage to experiment, blending what I loved about trance with elements of house music that had been captivating me. So that answered a lot of questions for me, because then I did a deep dive into Orphid, and Avoure had a lot of success with Orphid. He made about 7 or 8 songs, I think, and some of them made it all the way to Above and Beyond Group Therapy. So he crushed, and that answered a lot of questions for me. But at first I was kind of shocked. I was thrown, you know, not mad, but I had so identified with my version of his beginning and how it connected to me, that to find out he had this whole other thing going before he was Avoure was kind of shocking, and took me like a quick hit to absorb. But I did, and I love Orphid's catalog too. You know, it's really funny that this song, I'm gonna say what I'm about to say. Avoure songs are like compositions, and when you hum them, they sound like classical music. And I thought this song really illustrates that, you know? Birds Review 8, I'm Karen from Philly. You're listening to DJ Andy Skinner in the mix. Doing an incredible job as we move into From California with Love by Avoure on his own label, Biome Recordings, y'all. No, quick correction. That's on This Never Happened. Do apologize for that. It's fairly recent, so I assumed it was on Biome, but it is not. We want to be accurate. Such a meaningful song for him to come from Ukraine to California. I know this means a lot to him, this song. Avoure played this on his second recorded set that's on YouTube. The first one was from the Yugoslav Film Archive by Timecode. That has over 1 million views on YouTube. But on his live DJ set from California, he played this. And I really love that video, the live DJ set from a beach in California, because it showed how animated Avoure is when he's DJing. He's a great dancer and he's so on beat. And I know Avoure loves California because when California had the recent traumatizing fires, Avoure participated in a benefit show at Sunsets at Cafe Nido in LA in early March 2025 for the LA Fire Relief Program. Incredible, Andy. Just incredible, sir. That was from California with Love, the extended mix off This Never Happened label, as we transition to an incredible song called Blessed, the original mix by Avoure on his own label, Biome Recordings. So inspirational, so incredible. It's called Blessed, y'all, and we are all blessed.
No matter how hard it gets,
studying the approach and processes of Avoure has been so significant to me. I've tried to emulate that in what I do in Bird's Ear View, always trying to kill it and crush.
A terrible thing has happened to you. But don't forget that only through our sorrow can we achieve happiness.
That's so amazing. I mean, come on. Anytime I'm down, I just listen to this song and it picks me right back up. And so many of his songs now are inspirational like that. This has been incredible, and we're winding down. We got one more song after Blessed. Sing it, girl. Yes, we are. We are. That was the incredible song Blessed by Avoure, which also was the #1 song on our 2024 countdown, by the way. Coming up on the last song of Andy's mix. And we're closing like we started with Spectrum. This is the extended mix off This Never Happened. And Justin, when we close, we'll have a little dead air to sort of settle Andy's mix out. And then we'll play a song, the outro song, and let it play all the way out. It's beautiful. Great job, Andy. You're my man, dude. I love you. You came through so great. Thanks so much, Justin. You've been an incredible producer, man, and just seeing you over there jamming out with me, it means a lot, sir.
Dispatcher, volume, higher. Dispatcher, volume, higher. You should make your spectrum wider. Dispatcher, volume, higher. You should make your spectrum wider. Dispatcher, volume, higher. You should make your spectrum wider. Dispatcher, volume, higher. You should make your spectrum.
I'm so in shock right now, man. I was so nervous about this. It meant everything to me. And it couldn't have gone better. Incredible mix by DJ Andy Skinner for Birds Your View 8. Stunning. Stunning mix, man. Wow. Whew. That was so incredible. I feel so good. I feel so relieved and grateful and yes, blessed. And what a mix by Andy Skinner here. And I just want to thank everyone here, Josh and Walter and Justin at Brooklyn Podcast Studio in Brooklyn, New York. I want to thank Avoure. I want to thank you guys for being such great fans of the show and listeners and supporters of us. And I want to dedicate this episode to our executive producer, KarenFromPhilly. Her mother just passed away, so I want to dedicate this show to Miss Diane. And also, I want to dedicate this show to my parents, who really supported my creativity, even during the rough years when I was trying to get my life together. But I had dreams that were vivid, and I want everyone to have their dreams fulfilled. And I thought it would best to close with an incredible song that just came out on Biome Recordings by Avoure and Haxi. It's called Vivid Dreams, right here on Birds Your View 8. And we will be back, and may all your vivid dreams come true.